Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Angelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today. Happy May the 7th, and I am going to talk about today the meaning of Mother's Day and how it was created and why and by who, and just a little bit about Mother's Day, just where the holiday came from. I'm one of those people, I always ask, what does this holiday mean, and what can it mean for me, and is it one that I want to celebrate? Is it something that I'm interested in making an annual thing? And the older I get, the more I feel like, no, there are some things I just don't want to celebrate anymore. Not for the get along to, go along to get along, not for the pleasing of anybody else, not for the just because it's tradition. There are just some things I'm done with. And I think it's just those tolerances come, I think, with age, because as I've gotten older and older, there are just some things I just am like, I'm done. So I'll give you a little bit of history and then give you a little bit of commentary from myself. But Mother's Day is a holiday that was created by a woman by the name of Anne Reeves Jarvis. And it says that the official Mother's Day holiday arose in the 1900s as a result of the efforts of Anna Jarvis, the daughter of Anna Reeves Jarvis, following her mother's 1905 death. Anna Jarvis conceived of Mother's Day as a way to honor the sacrifices mothers make for their children. It also says that Mother's Day is celebrated in honor of the mother of the family or an individual, as well as motherhood, maternal bonds, and the influence of mothers in society. So I think what that is saying is that whether it's your maternal mother or it's your godmother or it's your foster mother, that whoever is your mother guardian, that's the person that you would celebrate. So this was created by an individual and became, an international and national holiday. It does say that the idea started in America. So that's something that's interesting, because I'm always wondering, well, where did that start? And sometimes when I look things up, it starts in another country, and sometimes those dates and times are different, kind of like when we celebrate certain holidays here, maybe Canada or China or other places celebrate something in a different way. The other thing that I found very, very interesting about the holiday is it says that historians believe it evolved from the 16th century, a 16th century Christian practice of visiting mothers in the season of Lent. And it also says on here that the dates change every year because it's linked to Easter. Now, I just was having this conversation the other day with my daughter, and I said it's just so interesting to me how I can remember Easter being in March. I remember when it switched over to April. And I'm just wondering, at some point, will it end up being in May or end up being in June? I know that they probably, whoever's in charge of the world calendar, probably wants to keep it in the season of spring. And so, of course, since you have a Mother's Day, then of course you have a Father's Day. But I just thought that it was very interesting. As a mother, what I usually want for Mother's Day is just peace and quiet. I usually just kind of want to be left alone. I don't need a lot of hoopla. If I get any kind of attention or any kind of gifts, that's fine. If not, I'm okay with that. But one thing that I am evolving into is that every single holiday doesn't have to be about what did you get me, how much did it cost, when did you purchase it, What was the value of it? Was it just a gift card or just a regular card with no money in it? Like, I'm so over all of it that I even have decided that this year will be my last year celebrating my birthday. It is a mid-year mark for me, and I think that after this year, not that I think, but I know after this year, I'm not going to celebrate it in the same traditional way that I've celebrated my birthdays for the last, I would say, 20 years. I usually would take an out of the country trip, or I would go somewhere or do something, or just really, really celebrate big. But I think for me this year, even for that, is going to be my last day that I just do something big, big, big for my birthday. And but with Mother's Day, I feel like it's absolutely a very important holiday. I think that it's one of those things that is kind of touchy, because if you're like me, you have a lot of friends that their mothers are not still alive, so you don't get to celebrate that with them. But I do have friends that understand, the meaning of death, and they celebrate in their own other different kind of way. So again, the official Mother's Day holiday arose in the 1900s. So if you think about from the 1900s to the 2022, it's really not that long ago. So I'm assuming that in the 16, 17, 1800s, this was not actually a holiday. And I always like to look up, when did it start, where did it start, and who started it. So I've always found that very, very traditional. But however you decide to celebrate your traditional way of Mother's Day, enjoy it. If you decide that you want to just lay back and do nothing, enjoy that. If you decide you just want to keep to yourself and keep your peace, enjoy that. If you decide that you want to give flowers to someone, enjoy that. If you decide that you want to send out an email or a text or whatever it is that you want to do that makes you happy, all I can say to that is to enjoy it. The other thing that I found out that was very interesting about Mother's Day is that since Easter varies depending on the lunar calendar, it's always going to kind of be linked around that area. So sometimes we'll say, well, I thought Mother's Day was the first weekend in May. Well, I thought it was the second weekend in May. Because I know there's been times where I was thinking Mother's Day and Father's Day was a certain weekend, and then I would look at the calendar and it would be a whole another weekend, and I would be so confused, like, why did it do that? I just didn't understand how it did that. But if you go back and you look in different histories from, let's just say, like 2018, it was May the 13th. In 2019, it was May the 12th. In 2020, it was the 10th. In 2021, it was the 9th. So now that it's the 13th, probably next year it'll be on the 14th, and then the next year it'll be on the 15th. I mean, it's gonna continue to travel on down. Like I said, that at some point it may be the last Sunday of the month. We don't know. But the Mother's Day, I'll tell you, around some of the other countries are celebrated in different times of the year. For example, in India, Mother's Day is on the same time as our time, but in other countries you have to think about it. If they're a day or two ahead of us, it's going to be a little bit different. So if you find out that there are other people that you have friendships with in other countries and things like that, and you want to celebrate it on their days as well, then do that if that's what you choose to do. But I also wanted to share with you, before I go, the origin of Mother's Day. So I'll give you 5 surprising facts about the holiday. Mother's Day officially began as a tribute to one woman. Again, we talked about Anna Reeves Jarvis and her tribute that she wanted to make to her mother. Mother's Day also started as a anti-war movement. Now that I didn't know, and I didn't think that was something I needed to know, but I thought it was interesting. Also, Mother's Day is a $25 billion holiday. When I saw that number, I thought about Christmas and how it's become so commercialized and all of these other holidays. And I think that's why it's such a big push to a lot of these companies about these holidays, because it's really all about the money. It's really all about how much money can we make them spend, how much guilt can we put in them to spend the money, how much fear can we lay on them to spend the money. And I think for me that takes the whole excitement out of it for me personally. Jarvis, the lady that I was telling you about, she died regretting her idea for this very reason. So if you think about it, this is all about one person who started this, which is very interesting. The white now this is something I love because I love carnations. I don't care if they're pink, red, white, or whatever color. Certain flowers, I've noticed that I like a lot of white flowers. I like magnolias and things like that. It says the white carnation is the official Mother's Day flower. So if you were planning on getting some flowers, then go for the official flower, which is the white carnation. That's kind of neat. So those are some facts about Mother's Day that maybe you did or didn't know. I didn't know about the white carnation. I didn't know that it was started by one individual. Kind of had an idea about the $25 billion commercial holiday, just simply because most big federal and big holidays, it always has some big huge number attached to it. So that didn't shock me. It was like, okay, I understand what they're doing here and why that's important. Just like I say, like Christmas, like Thanksgiving, like any other type of holidays you could think of. But if you have any thoughts on how you feel about Mother's Day, let us know in the comments, and let us know what you decided to do for Mother's Day. And if you are a mother, if you just decided to just be to yourself and, just kind of get some peace and quiet and not celebrate in any kind of way, that's your choice. You can do whatever you want to do. But let us know down in the comment how you feel about Mother's Day and what it does for you and what kind of tradition you typically do. And that's our show for today. If you would like to support the podcast, it is $mdipodcast. Make sure that you subscribe to our Mother Daughter Ish podcast on YouTube, and do not forget Instagram. It's Mother Daughter Ish and then _. So make sure you go over there and join. There'll be some nice fun videos over there, like lots of different pictures and daily motivational quotes as well, and different topics. And whenever we put a show out, we'll list it over there, and then you have to link it back to go there. But that's our show for today on May the 7th, and we hope that you enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.